It's not hard to tell when a guy wants sex. He usually makes it obvious. He says it, jokes about it, touches more, or just stares at you like a hungry dog. But women? Whole different game. Because even when a girl wants it, and sometimes badly, she's not going to make the first move. Not because she's playing hard to get, but because she's battling two forces in her head: desire and fear. Fear of being judged, fear of rejection, fear of looking easy, but the desire, still there, still growing. And the truth is, if you know how to read her subtle signals, you'll start to notice she's telling you everything, just without saying it out loud. So today, I'm giving you 10 lesser-known psychological signs a woman wants sex, but won't initiate. These are under-the-radar, desire-coded behaviors most guys miss, and most women won't admit to. These come from the space where tension lives, where she wants you to notice, but doesn't want to risk being the one who starts it. And if you've ever missed a moment with a woman you liked, you'll want to stick around for point 10, because chances are it already happened to you, and you didn't realize what it meant. Before we get into that, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all our videos. 1. She uses a freeze frame moment to test your awareness. It usually happens in the middle of a laugh, or just after a shared joke. She suddenly pauses, not in a way that's dramatic or awkward, but in a still, almost cinematic way. Her face softens, her body stops moving, her eyes settle. What's she doing? She's creating a micro moment of silence to watch your response. This pause is often instinctual. It's how women test emotional presence and sexual awareness without making a move. If you lean in, or lower your voice, or mirror her softness, she feels it. She notices. Most guys don't. They talk over it, change topics, or check their phones. But if you hold the moment with her, let the silence stretch just enough, she'll feel that shift, that you noticed, that you're in sync. And that's where tension builds. 2. She verbally disqualifies herself in a half-joking way. I'm trouble. You couldn't handle someone like me. I'm way too much for you. Sounds like she's turning you off, right? Nope. She's actually inviting you to disagree with her. These disqualifiers are really a form of testing safety. She's pushing you, just a little, to see if you'll play along, challenge her, or retreat. She doesn't want to say, I'm into you. That's too forward, too exposed. So instead, she puts herself in a teasing role. I'm a bad influence. Translation: I'm thinking about doing something bad, and wondering if you are too. She wants to feel the tension rise without taking full ownership of starting it, and if you meet her in that energy, if you smirk and say, don't threaten me with a good time, now she knows. You're on the same wavelength. 3. She finds subtle ways to isolate you from your group, without seeming obvious. You're with friends, you're at a party, and she keeps pulling you aside for these small, almost innocent moments. Come see this real quick. I need to show you this meme. Let me tell you what just happened. It's not random. She's creating micro-isolations, moments where it's just you and her, even in a crowded room. Why? Because initiating a sexual vibe in front of others is high risk, but pulling you off to the side lets her be more playful, more physically close, without feeling exposed. These aren't about what she's showing you. It's about the fact that she wanted you alone. When a woman wants sex but won't initiate, she creates situations, not confessions. So next time she pulls you aside for something minor, ask yourself, was the reason real or just a doorway? Pause for a second. If you're here to sharpen your edge, not just scroll, type locked in below. Let's see who's chosen discipline over distraction. 4. She gets unusually curious about your bedroom or your living space, even without an invite. You mention your apartment and she says, oh yeah? What's your room like? You talk about your bed and she asks, do you sleep with a fan or blackout curtains? You casually mention your couch and she jokes, I bet that thing's seen some stuff. She's not interviewing you for a design blog. She's mentally placing herself in your space, imagining it, feeling it out, seeing if she would be comfortable there, and if she'd be welcome. For a woman who wants to be intimate but can't initiate, this is safe distance curiosity. She's not asking to come over. She's imagining what it would be like if she did. And if you don't pick up on that, she'll likely shut it down and move on. 5. She repeats your name more than needed, and not for attention. It's subtle, but personal. You're so annoying, James. Matt, I swear you're wild. I feel like you're trouble, Dave. Why does this matter? Because using your name creates emotional closeness. It personalizes the moment. It makes the space between you feel tighter, more intimate, especially if she starts doing it casually, slipping it in with no clear reason. Women who feel tension but aren't ready to act on it will often lean into emotional cues before physical ones. Your name is a soft tool, a bridge. It doesn't mean she's into everyone she calls by name. But if she's using yours often, and no one else's, Pay attention. 6. She mocks or teases you for being too innocent or probably such a good guy. This is a total reversal, and it's almost always flirtation wrapped in psychology. You don't seem like the type to hook up. I bet you're the kind of guy who tucks girls in and leaves. You're too nice. You wouldn't know what to do with someone like me. It's not an insult. It's a challenge, a setup. She's poking the idea of you being vanilla because she wants to see if you'll rise to it. Push back, flirt back, tease her right back. If she didn't want something more, she'd have no reason to even plant this idea. But by pretending you're too innocent, she's disarming herself. She's making you the center of the sexual question, so she doesn't have to answer it herself. 7. She compliments your scent, but only after a delay. Here's the pattern. You're hanging out, talking. She's close enough to smell you, but it's not until 10, maybe 15 minutes later that she says something like, "You smell really good." Or even more subtle, "Wait, what cologne is that?" Why the delay? Because the compliment isn't casual. It's charged. She noticed your scent right away, but it took her a while to let herself comment on it, because scent is intimate. It's tied to memory, physical closeness, and raw chemistry. If she doesn't want to be around you physically, your smell doesn't matter. But if she suddenly brings it up, especially after leaning in, she's telling you her body is reacting. She's just not owning that response. 8. She creates play fight scenarios that put her in close proximity. She starts a silly debate. She calls you out on something small. She challenges you to a game or a dare. Thumb wars, bets, arm wrestling. It's not about winning. It's about escalating contact in a way that feels playful, not provocative. She's closing physical distance under the protection of a joke. Because if you call it out, she can say, "Relax, I'm just playing." But don't be fooled. This kind of play is loaded. It gives her an excuse to touch, tease, lean in, and laugh louder, all while keeping a safety net. A woman who wants sex but won't initiate will often reach for childlike games to create grown-up tension. 9. She brings up bad girl stories, but detaches herself from them. She says, "My roommate hooked up with this guy after one drink." Some girls go on vacation just to hook up. People do wild stuff on dating apps. Notice how none of the stories are about her, at least not directly. That's not an accident. It's a form of testing your judgment. She wants to know, would you shame a woman for doing what I'm secretly thinking about doing? If you respond harshly, "Wow, that's trashy," she'll shut it down. But if you say, "Everyone's got a wild side," or you just smile, that gives her permission to lean into that side of herself around you, without risking rejection or reputation. 10. She starts acting overly interested in your hands, but doesn't say why. She notices your rings. She compliments your nails. She watches your fingers while you talk. Maybe she grabs your hand for a game and doesn't let go right away. What's going on? Hands are symbolic, especially to women. They represent strength, skill, gentleness, safety. If a woman is secretly imagining being touched by you, but doesn't feel safe initiating that contact, she'll often focus on your hands as a stand-in. This isn't about jewelry. It's about what your hands could do. And the more she stares, the more you'll feel that tension, especially if she catches herself and quickly looks away. Up next, discover what women do when you're all they think about, or learn the 20 ways she flirts if she likes you. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.